This trick is done with a mixed up deck of cards, but this is no ordinary deck. You'll notice that there are letters on the back of every card. And you can make this deck at home. Just grab a regular old deck of cards and just write one letter on each card in nice black ink so you can see them clearly. Now what we'll do is start tossing cards onto the table, just in a random order. Just put them all over like this. And then I'm going to flip the deck back over and I'll put some random cards the other way, right? So we have some face up, we have some face down, just random letters all over the place. Now, let's say we flip it back this way and we'll make them into piles of 2. So each one will have one card on top like this. So some will face up, some will face down, kind of just a mess all over the table. And you can get rid of the rest of the deck. Now, it doesn't matter how many piles you make. You make as many as you want. But I'll just stop there just because I'm running out of room here. Now I'll ask the spectator to just pick these up one at a time. They can either put it in their hand the same way, or they can pick the pile up and flip them over. It's completely up to them. Oop, we missed one on here, so let's put an extra card there. All right, so they can either pick it up and put it like this, or they can pick it up and flip it over. And they just do that with all the piles however they want, completely up to them. Now, either they can pick them up in their hand, or you can pick them up in your hand and ask them if you can just put them the same way, or if you should flip them over. Completely their choice. Let's just put these like that. All right, these go that way, these go that way. Okay. Now, I'm going to just grab little batches of cards and ask them if I should just toss them on the table face up, or if you want me to flip them. So let's say they said leave it like that. Next batch, let's say they said flip them. Next batch, let's say they said flip them. Next batch, they said keep them. Next batch, let's say flip them. Let's say flip them again. We'll say flip them again, and we'll say keep this batch. Now you could do that again, and you can do it as many times as you want through the entire pack. And then when you're satisfied, you start dealing these into 2 piles. What you're going to do is ask the spectator which of the 2 piles they want to flip on top of the other pile. And again, it's completely their choice. So let's say that they said to take the one on my right and flip it on top of the other one. So that would be this pile. I'm going to flip it upside down on top of the other one. Completely their choice. And now we're going to see how we did. So we'll go through the cards, and we're just going to throw away the ones that don't matter because they're face down. I want the letters, actually. So these are all upside down cards. That's the right way. That's the right way. That's the right way. This is one. We got that one. That one, and that one. We'll get rid of all the face-up cards. Those don't matter. So now we have a bunch of cards with letters on them. So let's see if we can do anything with these. Let's see. We got an M. We got an I. Let's see. We got an N. We got a D. We got a B. We got an L. We got an O. We got a W and an N, which I believe spells mind blown. Now what's great about this trick is that you can make it spell anything you want. So if you're doing a trick for somebody named Robert, you can make these cards spell out Robert. Obviously I did Mind Blown, that's the name of my channel. First, let's talk about setting up the cards. So you grab an old deck of cards, and you just draw letters on top of each one. Now I would say to do duplicates of some of them. So we'll think like R comes up a lot, B's, like if somebody's name is Bobby, there's gonna be a bunch of B's. That comes up often. So L's, you do extras. You have 52 cards, and there's only 26 letters, right? So you'll pick the ones that you think would come up more often and just double those up. Now, before the trick begins, you're going to find the letters to spell out whatever you want to spell. So I'll spell Mind Blown again. Let's say you were doing this trick with somebody named Robert. As you were talking, you just look through and you see, well, there's a B, so you put that on the bottom, and you look for the R and the O. Just spell it while you're kind of mixing the cards up, just setting all those letters on the bottom. They don't have to be in order to spell the name. They just have to all be on the bottom. Now, knowing that I need 9 letters to spell Mind Blown, I'll just toss a random 9 out onto the table while I'm talking. I know that's 5, so 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I know I've got the cards face up. These spell out Mind Blown. I'll flip the deck over, and now it doesn't matter how many additional piles I make. So let's just put a few there just to fill the table up. Let's say we stop there. Now we'll flip the deck back over. And now we want every one of these piles to get another card facing up the same way that the letters in Mind Blown are facing. So we'll just cover each one of these. And then the rest of this trick is almost going to work by itself. It's really just a matter of making sure you keep them in piles of 2 or 4. So you get rid of the rest of the cards. And as you pick these cards up, you can either put them this way or you can flip them over. The only thing you can't do is take one of the cards and flip it over and then keep the other one face up, right? You have to take them in piles of 2 and you keep them the same direction they're in currently. So flip them over, keep them straight up. Now as you go through the deck, you'll either have to grab piles of 2 or piles of 4 or 6. It's got to be an even number. So as I'm talking, I'll just grab 4 cards and I'll say, okay, should I put these face this way or flip them over? Let's say they said flip. Doesn't matter. They can do whatever they want with them. Grab the next 4, face up. Let's say we grab 2, face up. The next 2, face down. Let's say we grab 6 and they say face up. We grab the next 6. And again, you're just kind of counting in your head as you're doing it. Flip them over. Let's say these 2 are this way and the last 4 they flip over. Now you could go through the deck again and again and again. As long as you're taking 2, 4, 6, an even number of cards for each pile and flipping them one way or the other. Now you'll deal these into 2 piles. And when you're done dealing, you're going to ask them which pile they want to flip on top of the other pile. And when you think about it, it really doesn't matter which pile they pick because you're going to do the same thing, right? You could either flip this pile over that way or you can flip the other pile back that way. But it's the same thing. You're just reversing the order of every other card again, which is what's going to get you into the final position where you need to be. So they can either pick this pile and you flip it this way, or this pile and you flip it this way. All you really have to know is which way the cards that spell the word you want are facing. And it's very easy to know that right now. I could just spread the cards out as I'm saying to them, look, these cards are a real mess, and I'm just looking at the letters, and I can see that there's an M here, I can see the D there, there's an N, so this spells mind blown. I know I have it the right way. If I flip them over the other way and spread them out, I can see, well, there's a U, there's a G, that doesn't spell mind blown, so I know they're the wrong way, so I would just pick them up while I'm talking, I'd flip them over, and then I'd say, okay, we're going to look through and find the face down cards, getting rid of the other cards, and then whatever word you spelled is going to be there. Now, I know this feels like there's got to be a trick to it, there's no way that that could possibly work, but I promise you, if you try it, you will see that it just kind of works by itself. Just don't forget that last step, deal them into two piles and flip one of them over, and this trick will work.